Yes, so this is a sponsored stream for Company of Heroes 3. It is sponsored by Sega, the publisher of Company of Heroes 3. It's developed by Relic. They dropped some stuff on their channel. This is a pre-alpha preview, or it's something they're calling co-development. COH development. Feel free to boo them in the chat for the terrible pun. But basically, they're taking a very similar route to what we've seen with, say, Humankind, which is also published by Sega, to have these early free drops of the game. It's not an actual beta, it's not a demo, it's nothing like that. It's a way to get a bunch of early feedback from players as the game goes into development, which has clearly worked pretty nicely with Humankind, and really looking forward to this a whole lot. When I don't normally do Tuesday streams. When I do, I stream Super New Games. I mean, it is hot right out of there. This is a sponsored stream. You can, if you do !COH3 or !what game, it's exactly the same thing. You get a link where you can also download and play this pre-alpha preview for free right now. I think it's going to be live for 3 weeks, if I remember my documentation correctly. So you're going to have plenty of time to get into this and play this. So I got I saw presentations. I got a bunch of stuff like noted down for this. With what we're going for. This is going to be very, very exciting. A lot of people in chat were saying that Company Heroes 1, the original, was like a masterpiece, and 2 may have dropped the ball slightly. They were saying, well, here's the interesting thing. They specifically talk about in this document that they're basing a lot of the core gameplay a lot more on 1, but with some of the graphical or user interface things they learned from 2. But there's also going to be more. With COH 3, there's going to be sort of an overworld campaign where the best way to compare it as dynamic campaign, as they call it, which might give you a little bit of like a kind of a Total War-y kind of vibe kind of thing, which does look extremely cool. It is going to be in the Italian theater, which you don't actually see a lot of war games cover the Italian theater, so that's going to be really nice. There's another good point, Night Warrior. Hope these won't be as many micros in this as 2. One of the brand new things in COH 3, which has me personally really excited, is tactical pausing, or active pausing in the middle of game. None of the 2 previous Company of Heroes gave you the ability to pause during gameplay. I mean, you could hit escape to open up a menu, but that was different. Company of Heroes 3, and we'll see it when we get into it, has the ability, you hit spacebar, you can pause, you can look around, you can issue commands, and then unpause and do it. So you really need a lot less... you don't need to have, like, super high APM or anything to do that, actions per minute, which I know from, like, you know, sort of StarCraft-y kind of thing. So people in the channel saying, oh, Quill covering some RTS. I do play a lot of RTS. I play more of it on my own than on the channel, although I do have a complete playthrough of things like the StarCraft 2 campaign. So I do really enjoy RTS games. I often find them hard to commentate while playing, which is one of the reasons we don't have the video. But here we can pause and spend like 15 minutes talking about our moves, which is very on brand for the channel. So I'm very excited about this. It will not have the pause in multiplayer, because that wouldn't make any sense. So multiplayer will still be sort of, you know, a little bit more rapid movement-y kind of vibe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's going to be something. From the presentation, they said the pausing is a single-player thing, but I don't know. It's pretty early. Who knows what they'll decide to do? And maybe there's going to be... I don't know what kind of multiplayer structure there will be. So there could be stuff like that. That's beyond the scope of this. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started in a second. Oh my god, the Italian theater. That's where they showed spaghetti westerns. Get out, Last Revenant! Get out! Ha! Alright, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this started. We're going to jump into the campaign. Now, I thought about this. So there is like sort of an intro video and then kind of some early tutorial-y kind of things at the start of the campaign. I thought, well, maybe I could start past that. But it might be actually a good way to make sure we don't miss any features by including that. So what it's going to do, it's going to start with a sort of kind of overworld campaign map first. I'm going to move a couple of units around on there on this sort of campaign screen, and then it's going to go into the tactical combat map of that is, you know, classic kind of Company of Heroes. So we'll take a couple of minutes to get into that, but otherwise, yeah, I'll go ahead and go through that process. I haven't played very much. I played enough to know the controls and get used to things, but I didn't want to be spoiled on the first mission in terms of where all the enemies are and things. So I've only done sort of the bare minimum to get started there, and then decided better save the rest for the stream. So let's go ahead and kick that in. New campaign. Yep, new campaign, and I think, yeah. I'm gonna shush.
In Company of Heroes 3, no two playthroughs are the same. You can choose to recreate or rewrite history. The Italian campaign begins with a decision, where to start. This time, the player chose to start on 2 fronts. Landing at Taranto, the player used the power of the Indian Artillery Company and their devastating weaponry to crush any opposition. The player also attempted to land at Salerno with their American company, but they came up against tough resistance from the Germans. In response, the player chose to deploy their British armor here to support the offensive. Finally, they broke through the German defense, which gave them a powerful presence in Italy. Partisan forces joined the Allied efforts, sabotaging bridges to prevent German retreats. The player took advantage of this by using the Air Force to drop a special operations company behind the trapped enemy. The next objective is to secure Naples, and this is where you come in.
We're sort of being dropped in partway into like what a single player campaign might be is the sound of things, right? Based on the voiceover, they're saying, well, as the player, you could have chosen a few of these. In this case, the player chose to do this, then chose to do this, then chose to do this. So it feels like they're putting us partway into what the single player campaign would kind of give a vibe for. We'll read the commands over here. Left click to select the company, right click to move. Sounds good. Movement points determine movement range. Action points are spent to attack or perform actions. So again, this is the campaign map mode, not the... so don't freak out. There's not, at first, it's not going to look like your classic Company of Heroes. We do campaign map stuff first. Resource convoys deliver manpower, fuel, and munitions every 3 days. So there's this whole idea of like managing your supply lines, right? Follow roads and rails from seaports and other capture points. It's going to be very important. Seaports and airfield provide additional access to units and special movement abilities. So I love the idea of a grand campaign tying everything together. IL-2 Stormovik, a very old flight simulator, had dynamic campaign kind of mode for these single player games that I thought was a really, really cool idea. And I'd always wished that more games had something similar to this. And so I'm feeling very excited to see something like this. Earn requisition points by completing missions and skirmishes. Spend it for new units and abilities. Cool. All right. I think there's going to be some more voiceover here. Not as long, though. So again, this is the campaign map, is what we're going to see here. Boom, 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 boom.
Commander, Naples is under attack. German planes are using Pomigliano airfield to launch bombing runs over the port. We must capture that airfield.
Okay, capture an airfield. So we get our first decision. Oh, I'm gonna do a Twitch poll for this. We get to choose which battle plan we're gonna get started with. We can do the American plan, the British plan, or combined plan. Where's my button to make a poll? Manage poll. New poll. Which plan, question mark, American, British, and combined, or combined. Yeah, you can spend Petra points to get extra votes. We'll run it for 1 minute. That sounds good. Start. It should show up in the chat, at the top of the chat. And I don't know how it shows up in mobile, but theoretically, it will all be visible for you guys. So the American plan, built for a strong initial push to break out of Naples before the Germans can really dig in. Companies and attachments are built for offensive mobility, and bonus resources are given for early support call-ins. The British plan, the defensive plan, built to secure the territories around Naples and prepare before striking German defensive lines. Companies and attachments are made to dig in, and additional supply shipments will mean more resources in the long term. And then we can do a combined plan. By working equally with partisans, Navy, and Air Force, we'll have enough tools at our disposal to deal with any threat the Germans throw at us. So, oh, it's still ticking down. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's sort of aggro versus turtle, right? Do we just like run in immediately, super aggressive mode, or is it going to be more of a methodical sort of, push forward, bombardment, push forward, bombardment? Because we're going to get like sappers, mortars over here, where here we get our airborne companies, engineered detachments, and either way we get the naval destroyer support, which is going to be kind of nice. Yeah, Miss Olton, Company of Heroes 3. Yeah, baby. Which plan? It looks like the British came out ahead. View results. British came out ahead 36% versus 34% versus 29%. That is really close. Wow. Maybe we should go to penalties for a tiebreaker. No, let's not do that. So we're going to go with the British plan. I'm going to leave the tutorial on because I think it'll give us good context for this. 500 votes exactly, wow. Alright, so welcome to the pre-alpha preview tutorial. Over the few turns of play, we're going to cover the basics of what you need to know for a new dynamic campaign map. Camera control is locked for now, bloom locked, blah, yada, yada. That's fine. Okay, understood. So, tutorial clicked it. So we've got a company over here to select. Again, we are on the campaign map mode here, not the regular tactical sort of combat. We're going to be told to move over here. So this is an armored company. What kind of stats do we have? Do we have full supply? Nothing listed in officer or detachments. 4 skills with the number over there, but I guess we'll wait for the tutorial to tell us to do things about that. So we will move up here. It's coming to Rome. Alright, right click to detect this enemy detachment. So this is not going to start tactical combat. This is just an overland map campaign combat here. But obviously on this channel we love strategy. So very excited for this. And then yeah, we've our destroyer supports over here. And yeah, we can left click the bombard ability. I think we can just right click to the fire as well, but click bombard. Oh, maybe we can't. Maybe we did have to do that. And then we'll burn bomb this area. As far as I could tell from my testing previously, I don't think there's friendly fire here. Very satisfying. Reminds me of the close combat games. I don't think I ever played that. New units can be a requisition from ports like Naples and requisition a rifle detachment. There you go. Purchase units over here. Clearly the tooltip art isn't in there yet. We're very early. Cutting edge here, baby. Love the music too. It's very good. So the game wants us to pick up a rifle detachment over here. Rifle detachments are reliable short-range combat units, best used to support other nearby units in fighting. Their abilities include medkits, supporting fire, and place obstacles. Alright, so I will purchase that. It takes units multiple days to be requisitions, but all units are produced simultaneously. Once completed, they arrive next to the port. They were requisitioned form. Close this window to return to the game. So yeah, so it looks like we can ask for up to 5 things, assuming that we have the manpower and munitions and things. We could have up to 5 things maybe in here, or maybe it expands. I don't know. And then they'll take a certain amount of time. I suspect this might be the time. No, I don't know. Oh, I guess it's 1 day regardless. So yeah, we could theoretically ask for 5 of these and get them all in 1 day. But we're just going to follow the tutorial. Make sure I don't want to break anything. When you're out of movement points or have no more action points to perform, click here to pass the next day. Started the new day, all your movement and action points will be refreshed. Any actions that take multiple days will progress. Passing to a new day will also give the enemy a chance to perform their actions. Again, campaign map mode stuff. Manpower, munitions, fuel, and supply. Pomigliano, doing a bombing run on Naples here. It only took 5 minutes, but I already feel overwhelming need to rewatch Band of Brothers, right? Kind of me too, actually. I've only watched it 1.5 times. I did a complete walkthrough, then I started to watch through once, but I only got about halfway before, got distracted by other things. Alright, detachments are specialized units on the campaign map. They can participate in campaign map combat and support companies entering missions. They cannot trigger missions on their own, but can capture locations if there are no occupying forces. Alright. So this rifle detachment supporting fire ability lets them automatically assist nearby companies in combat. So we're going to select it. And they want us to move it near the enemy heavy machine gun detachment, which we can clearly see must be doing some sort of cover or suppression on the arc over here. But we'll go ahead and move through. And I think this company will get shot at. Yeah. Alright, this company has been suppressed. We're gonna get into tactical combat soon. Suppression is a status indicated by yellow triangle. The effect temporarily removes 2 movement points, decreases action potential. These effects last until the end of the day and can stack, which could pin the detachment completely. Alright, and then we can take advantage of terrain. So we're just gonna move our artillery. Oh, thank you. I'm good with that. Oh, it's the terrain pop-up. Yeah. It's okay, we can figure out the terrain. Alright, attack this detachment. The company will receive a defensive bonus from the terrain and supporting fire from the rifle detachment. This info can be seen by hovering over the enemy detachment and holding control. We like info. This is mobile artillery here. Gonna clear out the heavy machine gun. And I think the next thing is going to have us actually enter into the tactical combat here. An enemy company is occupying a Pomigliano airfield. Attacking locations occupied by an enemy company with our own company will start an RTS mission. Succeeding in the mission will capture the location and force the enemy to retreat. So, we're going to grab these guys here, the medic detachment, move them closer up, as per the tutorial. Then we're going to grab this company over here, move them forward as well. Attack the airfield with your company to get a briefing on the mission. Be careful before engaging missions. Having low health can result in negative effects, but the same applies to the enemy. Alright. Clicky clicky. Tutorial tip. Select one of the empty slots and fill it with the nearby medic detachment. Selecting effectors will grant you additional active or passive abilities in the mission. So yeah, we can grab the fact that we've got these medics nearby and hit play to play this actual mission. And there we go. Now, this mission here, this is as basically as far as I got. I started this mission, I did sort of the first step of this mission, that was it. We're still sort of on the lowlands near the water. But if you've watched the trailer that they've dropped, a lot of the battles are going to be these incredibly like hilly terrain. Elevation's going to be a big factor, which the original City of Heroes, different game, Company of Heroes games, was mostly sort of flat maps, right? So I think having a lot of elevation is going to be very cool. So yeah, standard, left click to select, right click to move and attack, move the camera with the arrow keys, middle mouse button, edge panning, capture points, standing in the ring, unit cap governs how many units you can build, access tactical pause by pressing the space bar, again this is a new feature in 3, breaching a garrison structure will evict the defending squad, the breaching squad will remain in the target garrison. So breach is going to be useful here, because that's new too. I think occupying buildings is something that wasn't in the previous games.
Airfield to stop the Germans from bombing nearby positions.
My school years, I was a history geek through and through. My favorite era is World War II and Ancient Roman Greek. This game really brings back that passion again. To find my old books about German ace pilots. Oh, that's cool, Cornelius. Company of Heroes 3.
New to Company of Heroes, here are some introductory tips that will make your first mission an operational success.
So always occupy building just a general that could. Okay, yeah, but I think it's different with the way the companies works.
Down the central mouse wheel and move the mouse in the direction you wish to move the camera. Alternatively,
I could probably skip this one, but
on your keyboard, or simply move your mouse to the edge of the screen. To select a unit, click on them with your left mouse button. The left mouse button is your selection button. You can drag a box around multiple units to select them at the same time. You can also select units.
This looks like the battle will be intense.
At the bottom left of the screen.
Boo.
You can select a squad with a single click of their decorator in the global unit control. Double-clicking the decorator will snap you to the squad's location. Once you have a unit selected, you can give them move or attack orders with the right mouse button. Try selecting and moving some units around for practice. Next, you'll want to produce some units. From your barracks, left-click on one of the squads in the command card to add them to the production queue. They'll soon be at your disposal. From your HQ, you can build additional buildings, which will enable you to deploy more powerful units as the game progresses. These will be built
like buildings
by your base forces. You will want to use abilities with your units. Select a rifleman squad. In the bottom right corner, you will find their command card. If you look at their command card, you will see the breach ability on the left-hand side. Left-click the breach ability, then left-click on the house full of Germans to flush them out. The command card is where you will find abilities and other commands for your selected units. Flanking and using cover are the keys to winning engagements in Company of Heroes 3. By keeping your units in cover, they will take far less damage and can stay in the fight for longer. Flanking the enemy gives you the tactical advantage.
yeah, the individual unit movement is really cool.
Hitting them where they are not prepared. Your squads will gain veterancy from spending time in combat. When you see a gold star appear above a unit, you can choose between an offensive or defensive bonus in the bottom right-hand corner of the command card. These can either be new active abilities or passive bonuses. You should make use of your company abilities to gain the edge in battle. These can be found in the strip menu on the right-hand side of your screen.
COH had base building, but it wasn't a
Bombing run, then left-click where you want to deploy your.
it wasn't like
To To complete the mission, you'll need to capture resources.
Wasn't something emphasized, I guess.
Select a squad and move them within a capture
Right, it's not an
sequence
econ
in that territory.
RTS.
Once a point is turned blue, it is under your control. When your squads have suffered some losses, you will want to retreat them back to base for reinforcements. Click on the understrength squad, and in the command card, click the retreat icon. Once your squads are back in the HQ, you should reinforce them before bringing them back to the front. You'll find the reinforce ability in the command card. Tactical pause.
Yeah, there's no like mineral connection. There's no mining.
Press space
Because that wasn't realistic.
Tactical pause. From here, you can order the same...
But the concept of being reinforced on the battlefield is very realistic. And that's what the buildings effectively represent.
Each individual squad, allowing for precision plays. Unpause to watch your commands play out in real time. Finally, if you want more tips, you should definitely check out the help menu. There's loads of great info here for new players. You'll be commanding like a grizzled veteran in no time. Have fun out there.
I thought that was actually really well done. All right, objective. This is a critical communications center, and we're expected to be heavily defended. All right, soldiers, listen up. Our target is the enemy air control tower. Before we move into the airfield, however, we'll need to support nearby Allied infantry who are pinned down. Once they're safe, push for the tower. Reports suggest enemy aircraft in the area, so keep your eyes open for strafing runs. Godspeed. All right. So here's our starting area. Oh.
Forward scouts from reporting in. Take out the enemy so our boys can do their job.
Breathe command. So I'm going to pause because A, it's cool that we can pause, and B, it's going to give me a chance to do a little bit of chit-chatting over here. So we've got sort of our initial drop-off position over here. We've like kind of a bluish area on the map to show our control. We've got some buildings enabled. We've got 4 squads, it looks like, over here. So yeah, we can use these little shortcuts to quickly get to them. And then, of course, we can just select them on the map as well, and that's totally groovy. Over here, we've got our first point of contention. We've got, I think these are friendly commandos in here that have currently been pinned down, so we want to go and rescue them. I think by controlling this point over here will let us do that. We've got a squad of German grenadiers right over here, keeping these commandos pinned down. We'll have to clear them out, and this building is also occupied. So we'll probably try kind of a 2-pronged attack over here. Now, who's got the breach command? These British sappers do... Oh, what is this? Flamethrower breach. Okay, that sounds very exciting. The infantry squad doesn't have the breach command. Although it does have rifle grenades. That's good to know. It costs munitions to use. We do get munitions per second. We've got some commandos here who have grenades, sticky bombs, field defenses. Control the battlefield with defenses. And then we've got another rifle or infantry section here. Forward observer barrage. Oh, that sounds quite good. So we can call in an artillery barrage from a 25-pounder howitzer. It does cost some resources. I don't think we'll need it right away, so we'll probably go ahead and get this started. So, yeah, what we can do, so we can say something like, listen, go and breach this building. You can see it go on. I will provide some fire cover maybe with the infantry over here. We'll tell them to get in here. They'll move to here. They'll deploy cover. You can see with the yellow dots showing that they're going to take up cover positions, just in case they're firing. Although I think these guys are all focused on attacking this building over here, so we're kind of okay. We're going to do a flank here to cover these guys, and that just leaves, finally, this commando group here. What are we going to do with them? Because I'm not sure we can fire through this brush. It looks a little thick to me. I'm not convinced we can fire through. I don't know if there's a hotkey or something you can hold to show line of sight. That might be nice. I feel like the old games may have had that. Maybe I'll get you to move around here, too. We'll get 2 units to hit them from here, because then when we enter the building... We'll be hitting these guys from one angle, but then yeah, I'm gonna double up on units over in this area of cover. Hopefully that's going to be good. I don't know. Hopefully I don't get anyone killed too quickly.
Men, the enemy hold up in that building are causing us trouble. Get over there and breach it.
All right, I want to take a look at this flamethrower breach. Let them take position by the walls. Oh, here we go. Alright, that seems pretty good. So we've got the building taken up now. Oh, these guys are getting absolutely butchered.
All clear. Good work.
I think, yeah, there you go. Breathing commando is complete. We'll just move in here.
There are still some enemy forces left on the base. Take control of command buildings, and they'll be forced to retreat. But careful, they'll put up a fight.